Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of former Sheriff Mickey Stines. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. So what we're going to be analyzing today is both security footage as well as body cam footage of Mickey Stines before and after the shooting of Judge Kevin Mullins. Previously, there had been reports that Judge Mullins had been in contact with Mickey Stines' daughter. More recent reports suggest that is in fact not true, and Mickey Stines' daughter has denied this. What we're going to be looking at first is the behavior and body language that led up to the shooting. All right, let's just jump right in. Now, there's no audio in this, so I'm going to be talking over it. Typically, I pause a lot, but I'm going to be talking through some of this. As you can see on the right, the former sheriff is right there standing in front of the door. Now, look at his body language and how unsettled he is. Now, the first thing you're going to notice just now is that he put his arm up over the door. He is thinking about the fact that he wants to keep the judge in there. Obviously, there are other witnesses there right now. There are other people there right now, but the idea that he wants to trap the judge in there is on his mind. Watch his arm right here. So you can see he's shuffling around because he's unsettled. He puts his arm up, blocking the doorway because he is thinking about the fact that he does not want the judge to leave right now. Now, if you look at the composition of how everybody's sitting, Judge Mullins back there smoking a cigarette from what I can tell. It looks very, very casual. It looks very, very calm. There doesn't seem to be any tension with him whatsoever right now. Everybody else in the room is just sitting around looking pretty casual as well. The level of tension is all coming from the sheriff on the right. That is all coming from Mickey Stines. And it looked like he just told everybody to get up and go. As you can see, he sort of signaled people to get up. I don't think anybody suspects what is getting ready to happen. So people just abided by what he said. And as you can see, he takes his phone out right here and lays it out on the desk. Now you see him leaning forward with his hands out. This is a way that we connect with people. It's not always a positive way to connect with people, but it's showing that he wants a connection with the judge right now. So you see that leaning forward. You see the arms out. He's taking an aggressive stance. Clearly, Mickey Stines' energy is agitated. You can see by the way he's sitting, the way that he's moving. That being said, Judge Mullins doesn't seem to be affected by it yet. Now, as you can see, Mickey Stines right now has his hands in his pockets. This does show that he is trying to hide that he is going to do something. He is thinking about doing something and he does not want the judge to see it coming. So the hands in the pockets, that's always a sign, if that's something he wasn't doing before, that someone is thinking about hiding something. Someone is trying to hide in some sense. Now, see this signal right here where he's got his arms above his head? We do that when we're trying to catch our breath sometimes. So when we're trying to calm ourselves down, when we're trying to feel less agitated, you see people do things like this after a crisis or when somebody's feeling really, really upset. So people sometimes sit casually with their arms above their head, but sometimes if people are extremely agitated, they do that as well. And as you can see, if you look at Judge Mullins, just casually smoking. It seems like he's chain smoking because he's basically been smoking the entire time. And this is over a fairly long period of time. Now you can see with the sheriff, he's nodding his head. You can see he's looking a little bit more intense. This does not look like a relaxed stance with his hands above his head. I do not think that he is calm by any stretch of the imagination right now. He's also got his legs crossed because he's trying to appear calm. He's trying to calm himself down, but he's clearly feeling very agitated. Just a second ago, you could see Judge Mullins shaking his head, so clearly he's responding to something. But as you can see, he's not really moved. The judge is just appearing casual, looks extremely calm. That probably is consistent with how he typically is for somebody that's smoking indoors and just sort of relaxing. Like, you know, he doesn't seem to be taking anything too seriously. He's putting his hand on his head, once again, trying to show that he's not particularly interested in what's being said to him. Now, I think that the conversation is getting a little bit more intense because the judge isn't looking at him. He's using his hands a little bit to talk, but he's looking away. I think that he doesn't want to look at Mickey Stines because it's whatever is being talked about is starting to get more intense. So as you can see, the judge is starting to look a little bit more animated. This is starting to get a little bit more confrontational. You could see Mickey Stines leaned in again. Now he's wanting to connect again. Now he's seeing it as a confrontation. Watch the body language of both of them around the same time. See, as the judge starts to sit forward, Mickey Stines also leans forward. He is definitely trying to engage with him right now. He's got his fingers crossed, which is different than he had before. Before, his arms were open. Now his hands are crossed. He is starting to feel really intense. And something that the judge is saying, he's disagreeing with something. And it doesn't seem extremely confrontational, but he's certainly more animated than he was. It's not that relaxed position just sitting around smoking cigarettes. Now he's a bit more animated, seems to be defending himself in some way. See, and whatever he disagreed with, now you can see Mickey Stines is stroking his chin. He's thinking about something. As he continues to fidget with his beard, touch his face, that's another thing we do to calm ourselves down. I think that he's been feeling extremely intense this whole time, and there are little bits of body language to calm himself down. See, and now he's closing his body off again. So now Mickey Stines is sitting back, disengaging, crossing his arms, showing, I am totally closed off from whatever you're saying. So very well what could have happened is that if Mickey Stines confronted him about something, Judge Mullins may have said, no, that's not true, or was disagreeing in some way, and he is not open to that idea. And we're going to be talking a little bit about mental health, but if, for argument's sake, Mickey Stines is delusional in some sense, nothing Judge Mullins is going to say is going to have any impact on that whatsoever. Have you ever Googled yourself and instantly regretted it? I'm talking about those weird sites with your name, your address, your family members, all of your personal details out there for strangers to see. And this is a goldmine for stalkers, for scammers, for anybody who wants personal data. That's where today's sponsor, Incogni, comes in. They just launched something called custom removals in their unlimited plan. In addition to the 250 plus data brokers they already handle automatically, now you could submit any website link where you think your personal info appears, and their privacy team will work to get it removed. Incogni's on it. It's literally 3 steps. 1, find the link where your personal info is posted. 2, paste it in your Incogni dashboard under custom removals. And 3, let their team handle the rest. You'll even get an email when it's gone. So do this. Google yourself, put your name, your city, your state, see what comes up, and then hand that to the Incogni team for them to take care of. Right now, my viewers get a huge discount if you sign up using my link, incogni.com/drgdeal. That's 60% off your subscription to Incogni Unlimited, and trust me, the peace of mind is worth it. Just remember, your data is yours. Don't let strangers profit from it. Get Incogni today and make it disappear. And as you can see, the judge continues to protest. He is saying something with a little bit more energy than he did before. Like I said, I think there's been some kind of confrontation. It looks like Judge Mullins is trying to diffuse it. But as you can see, Judge Mullins' body language continues to be very, very casual. Even if he feels a little bit confronted, I don't think he feels threatened right now. So there's a big difference between feeling like somebody's confronting you, because you can have somebody confront you and not be extremely worried about it, versus being threatened. And so I don't think at this point that he's been threatened in a way that he is taking seriously. Then here we have Mickey Stines engaging again, leaning forward. We have that crossed off body, the nervous energy. Now he's starting to rub his hands. I think that he knows exactly what he's going to do. It's just building up to it right now. I skipped ahead for just a minute. At this point, Mickey Stines just continues to look through the phone. Now, it's interesting. The judge does tend to have his hand up towards his face, which is a little bit defensive. So whether or not he feels that he's going to have to be defensive because things are going to be violent, or whether or not he just feels defensive talking to Mickey Stines, we're seeing a little bit of that with this gesture right here. All right, so the exposing of the gun. Much like if somebody takes their shirt off, you know the next thing is that they are expecting action. This is a clear sign that someone is going to engage in action. Do not ever take this as a threat from somebody. Expect that this means that they are planning to engage. That's exactly what I would think when somebody exposes their gun in this way. Now, this sign from the judge, putting his hands up like this. Now, I know that that's obviously the sign that people do when you say, put your hands up, but it is an automatic thing for us. When we are feeling defensive, that is the exact position, the real position we go into. This is something that we look at in interrogation videos. When people are saying they didn't do something and they have their hands really low and awkward, that tends to be less authentic. When we're really feeling threatened, this is precisely what our hands automatically do. And you can see the body language of Mickey Stines, pointing at the chair, gun pointed down. This is a man who is getting ready to engage in action. You can tell these are not just threats. This is someone who is very, very serious and very confident about what he's doing right now. And you see the judge put his hands up very gently, nodded his head slowly. He's trying to diffuse this. I don't think he fully appreciates the level of danger he's in right now. Putting the hands up again, so he clearly still feels threatened, but he's keeping the hands low. He's trying not to do anything too dramatic, I think, because he's trying to diffuse this. Seeing him shaking his head, so he continues to disagree with something. I presume he's been accused by Mickey Stines of doing something, and so he continues to disagree with it. You see, putting his hand up like that, that's a way to non-aggressively try to get somebody to stop. If you point at somebody and say, hey, stop this right now, that can be interpreted as aggressive. So the open hand is a way to try to diffuse when there's tension in the room. So the judge right now is trying to do everything he can to diffuse this. And even though it seems a little strange he would put his hand up like that as though it would do anything, this is body language. This is precisely what the body does. It does strange things that you can't interpret literally. Literally, that is not going to do anything to a bullet. But it doesn't change the fact that the mind goes, protect yourself right now. We see this in ways that aren't so literal. We see this at times in court or in times when there's different interactions and interrogations. But that's why we look for little signs like this. So somebody putting their hand up, for example, for protection, even when it doesn't make literal sense, these are the kinds of signs we look for. Now, obviously, we skipped over the shooting. I don't think there's any reason to watch that part of it. That's not the interesting part of all of this anyway. Now we're going to watch Mickey Stines talking after the shooting. Let's see what his behavior and his body language is like after the fact.
We're going to go in one of these rooms and we're going to talk real fast.
Oh, yeah, not in one of these right here.
So right now, obviously, he is remarkably calm for somebody who just engaged and committed murder so viciously. And you can see there's really no expression on his face. I was looking to see if there's any sadness, anger, surprise, anything. You're seeing no real emotion on his face.
I don't know. I think they cleared one out. So
You ever feel safe doing that?
why?
Now, just a second ago, he did this strange tongue flick. And sometimes we see this when people are in a mental health crisis. They do strange hand positions. They do strange tongue flicks. There are different almost tics that they do. And those can sometimes clue us in that somebody is not in their right state of mind. I don't know if you could see it right there. Watch it one more time, but watch his mouth. That's very different than somebody licking their lips. There's a lot of things you can do with the tongue that are considered normal. That type of tongue flick, in this context, is pretty strange.
I ain't going to let nothing happen. Okay? I ain't going to let nothing happen to you. So don't worry about that. I'll stick with you until you go to your cell. Okay? You'll be all right.
He just glanced at the body cam, glanced back at the officer. He just seems legitimately confused right now.
I promise you.
I know better than that.
What? Mickey, you know, we just talked about we known each other forever. I ain't gonna let nobody hurt you. Would you talk right here? If we pulled up some chairs, we'll just talk low. We're just trying to let everybody hear stuff and see everything.
I don't care if everybody hears. I just don't feel safe.
Okay. Well,
So he's talking about not feeling safe, which could suggest some very legitimate paranoia. And sometimes paranoia, and I don't know his mental health history, but sometimes paranoia can suggest delusions. Delusions are oftentimes paranoid. There's plenty of different types of delusions, but it's not uncommon at all that people have paranoid delusions that someone's going to hurt them, so on and so forth. We're going to talk about what this means for their case at the end, but it does sound like he may very legitimately be paranoid right now.
Try not to let everybody hear stuff and see everything.
I don't care if everybody hears. I just don't feel safe.
Okay. Well, here you should feel safe. There's cameras here. There's people everywhere. People in there. So if we pull up some chairs right here, would you talk to us right here?
And you don't have a problem transporting stuff.
Well, that's transport is another issue. We'll make sure you're safe on that too. We'll wait till after we get done talking.
You can hear him breathing heavy, stepping back and forth, shuffling a bit. It's just peculiar. It's not what we typically see when a murder has occurred. So it does make you lean into wondering what's going on with his mental health right now. What is his state of mind after this?
I ain't trying to be difficult, guys, but I don't feel safe.
So we got to know what led to this, Mickey. What?
There was the tongue flick again I was talking about.
Difficult, guys, but I don't feel safe.
So we got to know what led to this, Mickey. What transpired leading up to this? Because I know it just didn't happen for no reason. Something's happened. Everything has a reason why it happened, and why somebody acts the way they do.
Just be fair to me.
We'll be fair to you.
Just don't beat on me.
I ain't gonna beat on you. Nobody else is gonna beat on you. You know that.
Don't shoot at somebody. Y'all gonna kill me, man.
Nobody's gonna shoot you. Nobody's gonna kill you.
So as he's talking about this, he's starting to, I think, feel a bit more comfortable with the officer. He's starting to get a little bit more trust with him because he just leaned forward. As I talk about, that's a way to engage. He's not feeling quite as unsafe with him. Now, that probably means he's still paranoid in plenty of other ways, but at least with this officer, he may be starting to develop a little bit of a rapport. And it sounds like they know each other. So obviously, there should be a rapport there, but it's just a very bizarre behavior that we're seeing from Mickey Stines right now.
You know that.
Don't shoot at somebody. Y'all gonna kill me, man.
Nobody's gonna shoot you. Nobody's gonna kill you.
Man, don't do that. Don't shoot me. Kill me and stuff.
So what? Tell me about what was going on earlier today. What was you doing earlier today? Tell me about your day.
It was fine.
Good day? Normal stuff? Office stuff?
He's like looking at the bottom of his sock. He's looking around. It's possible he's doing that because he's feeling paranoid, or he's just engaging in some peculiar behaviors, but he's not focusing on the things that he should be focused on given the context of the situation. His behavior is odd.
Why was you over here at the courthouse? Was you had to come over here, drop off some papers, so you come over here to talk to somebody?
Court? I come over here all the time,
For
man.
court?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
See, there's that smile. He's laughing. He's leaning forward. He does seem genuinely confused right now. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't know what he did. The emotion is inappropriate for the situation. And this is something that we look for when we think that someone has had some sort of psychotic issue or when someone is not in their right state of mind. So his behavior not matching the situation is precisely what we would look at when we're trying to figure out someone's mental state.
Court? I come over here all the time,
For
man.
court?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time. Just come over. We had lunch together at Street Side.
Who did?
Several people.
Who all had lunch?
Now, did you see how blank his face looked when the person was walking by? I do think that he was engaged in some really deep thought. You see that look at how intense he is watching what I presume is another officer walking by right now. And the expression completely leaves his face. He has no social awareness right now.
Where are we going to?
I think, not positive, Mickey, but I think they're transporting you to the Leslie County Jail for your safety.
For your safety. And Mickey, you've been around most.
I'll never make it to Leslie County Jail.
Hey, who do you want to? Who do you want
Put me in
to?
Leslie County Jail. I get killed there. I get killed in any jails. Yes, y'all might as well do it.
Who do you want? Who do you want to transfer?
And see, I don't think that this is him speaking as though, hey, if I'm a police officer that's in prison, that something's going to happen to me. I think that he sounds paranoid, which is different than going, oh man, I can't be a cop in there. That's not what it sounds like. It sounds like he's saying he would never survive to that point. And it sounds like he really believes this too.
Whatsoever.
We ain't gonna do anything to you.
Yeah, I'm not going back one of them rooms now.
We ain't. We'll talk right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, be fair to me now.
we're gonna be fair.
I seen the look.
From who?
Jackie.
See, I've seen the look. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up in a second here, because what I think we're seeing, and what I think that his defense actually is that he is not in his right state of mind right here, that this is someone who is disconnected from reality. Now, is he so disconnected that he doesn't know the difference between right and wrong? That's something the court is going to have to decide. I'm sure they will do a full evaluation. I'm not going to speculate on his diagnosis, but clearly what we're seeing is psychotic behavior, or clearly an attempt at psychotic behavior. There's nothing to me that says that he is faking this. I don't think that he's faking it in any way, shape, or form, but a mental health evaluation is certainly going to give us more clarity on that. It is very possible to be in a mental health crisis or to be delusional and still know what you're doing is wrong. And so that's why this is going to be such a complex case when it is brought to trial. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. The really peculiar aspect of this case is his age. Now, typically, if people get past their early 20s and they never have an episode that's like what we're observing here, they're never going to have one unless it's substance-induced. If it's substance-induced, all bets are off. Substances can do all sorts of weird things to the brain. But as far as just mental health crises, that would be so unusual to be his age and for it to be the first time this has ever happened. I don't know his mental health history. Maybe this is an episode that's happened previously, but for this to be the first time ever would be extremely strange. If you have any other thoughts about this, or if there's anything else you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.